Stress test. Hot or cold? In the red phase, blood vessels contract. Blood is withdrawn from the extremities, the hand and the feet, which makes them more colder. Blue, in the regeneration phase, the blood vessels dilate again. Blood is flowing back to the extremities, making them warmer again. So in general, you can say that when a person is in the stress phase, really active stress, they have colder hands and feet. And when they're in regeneration, they have warmer hands and feet. However, that led to a few people creating a very wrong simplification, and I would like to warn you about that. Stress means colder extremities, which is correct. Regeneration means warmer extremities, which is also correct. However, cold extremities does not mean stress. Warm extremities does not mean generation. So, although it works one way in one direction, it does not always work in the other direction. If you jump in a river, you're going to be wet. If you're wet, it doesn't mean that you jumped in the river. It could be, it doesn't have to be. So let's see how we can use the temperature of the hands and the feet properly. So instead of looking at a process, look at the person. So when I have a client in front of me and I feel their hands are cold, the entire person is more in a stress phase, is more in a sympathetic nervous system, not a single process. Some people are doing a diagnostics and feeling their hands and saying, oh, your liver must be in regeneration phase. You cannot say that. It's wrong, it's a disservice to your client, and it could be dangerous. The only thing you know is that the entire person is more sympathetic nervous system. Could be related to the symptom you're talking about, could be related to all the symptoms that person is having, or could be that they almost run over by a car while reaching your office, outside of the symptoms, outside of the presenting symptoms. Let's go back to the bank metaphor, right? If you look at the total number of your bank account, what is there, you have no clue about what each separate activity is bringing in. If you have multiple businesses, you don't know what each business is bringing in if you only look at the sum total. With the hands and the temperature, you only look at the sum total of the entire person and everything that is running. So let's show you a picture of that. Let's assume the person comes into your office with a complaint of muscle ache, which is a typical regeneration phase. Let's take the upper part, right? So the first two phases. And the muscle ache is in number 5, is in the blue phase. You feel their hands. And at the same time, there are 3 other processes running. Maybe a lung issue is running, maybe a liver issue is running, and maybe a skin issue is running. So you feel the hands, and the only thing you feel is cold hands. Which makes sense, because this person runs 3 processes in adaptation phase, making them feel more cold, having colder extremities, and only one of the process is in regeneration phase. So if you feel the hands, you feel cold hands, even though the process that the person is going through regarding the muscles is in regeneration phase. And there's no way to separate and disregard the others and only measure the temperature of the hands based on the symptom people come into you. So realize that whatever you do with feeling the temperature of your hands or the temperature of the hands of your client is the sum total of everything that's happening in the client's life at that moment in time. The second thing you can use it is for calibration. So a client comes into your office, you start working on let's assume the muscle issue again, and you feel their hands and they're kind of lukewarm at the beginning. Then you start working with them and you start focusing really on the muscle issue, on the back issue, on feeling self-value, feeling strong, feeling valuable in the world, feeling that my presence makes a difference, around the themes of the back, right? Then you give them another hand, and now you feel that they have colder hands. Hey, interesting. The hands turn colder, meaning they're more into stress. Maybe, we don't know, we always have to check. Maybe they went into stress regarding the back again. Then you continue working, releasing the emotions, and then you feel their hands again. And then you notice that they have warmer hands, and even warmer than in the beginning. That might indicate there's no science to that by definition. That might indicate that their issue regarding their trauma that led to their back problems is solved, and they're now more into regeneration of the back. So the second way that you can use this is as a calibration tool. So measure, get a feel of what's going on in the client's life, start working, measure again, and what's the difference? So either use it as a whole person, sum of all processes indication, or really calibrate. Let's do an exercise for that. And even though the exercise mentioned 15 minutes here, go around and start feeling the temperature of people's hands and just notice how it changes during a session and what you might be able to find. Just start noticing what happens when you feel the temperature of people's hands and during a session. So at the start, you give them a hand, maybe in the middle, can I feel your hands a little? And at the end, you feel again. And just notice, start observing.
Now remember to subscribe to this channel so you never miss anything. Just hit the subscribe button.